And I'm Carissa.
We work at Kiwi Nurseries, and today we wanted to discuss some of our favorite shade plants and some planting tips.
So one of my favorite perennials is the hosta. Hostas come in many different shapes, sizes, forms, and textures. One of the reasons why I like the hostas is because my cat on hot sunny days likes to hide under the large leaves. So personally I love how large the leaves can be on the hosta, but there's always different options to choose from. So when designing your garden, hostas are typically good in shady areas, but also can be used for rock gardens and borders. Hostas can also be used on standalone or as an accent plant. When it comes to spacing of the hostas, pretending that this is our garden, hostas grow in many different sizes, so spacing depends. As for this one, it gets a bit larger, so you want to make room for its growth, whereas this one stays relatively small, so that depends on what hostas you choose in your gardens.
So some of my favorite shade plants are elfin thyme, which is this guy here. So elfin thyme is great because it can be used as a ground cover. It stays very, very low on the ground. It also loves the shade. So if you put it near like a rock feature underneath tree beds, it kind of creeps and it kind of crawls and it fills in some space. And with its tiny pink little flowers, you can get some really nice color in shady areas, which is sometimes hard to find. And I also like it because it reminds me of Lord of the Rings. I feel like you could find it in Rivendell growing along the waterfalls, which I think is really cool. I also have some ferns. So people have quite a few questions regarding ferns because they can be somewhat picky to grow. So the biggest thing with ferns is that you cannot plant them in full sun. They get burnt and then they turn brown and they just look awful really, and they won't really thrive. So ferns do very well in either an east or north facing location where it gets a couple hours of the nice morning sun, and then for the rest of the day they're shaded from the really hot sun. They also like to be kept quite moist. They're kind of native areas on really moist forest floors, so that's what they usually prefer. So I have a nice tall green one called Lady in Red, which has really nice red stems, which can also give some color. And then a metallic fern, which is really cool because it has purples and grays and silvers. So this could be a really nice accent plant paired with a hosta. And the best part about these plants is that since they're all shade plants, you can plant them together in certain garden beds to kind of give it a fuller effect. So what you could do is you could have certain type of ground covers like the thyme itself, or even Irish moss is good, like it's a good substitute. You could put moss somewhere around there, and then you could put taller hostas in the back. This variety is called Sum in Substance, and it gets very, very large. So you could have that somewhere in the back. You can have smaller varieties kind of tucked in front, and then you could even have some ferns just kind of poking in the front, and it'll give it kind of a nice kind of woodland garden type effect. So yeah, and if anybody has questions on these sorts of things, our website, kiwinurseries.com, has all of our plants, including planting tips and all that kind of stuff. And we always invite people to come out to the nursery and see what we have and just see them in person.